What's up, everybody? It is Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, Aftershocks TV, and Heavy Metal Television. And I am now on Cameo. That's right. If you need a message sent to somebody, maybe it's happy birthday, maybe it's get out of here, hit the street, you're fired. I don't care what it is. Firing a girlfriend, firing a boyfriend, firing an employee, wishing them well, whatever it is, I'm on Cameo. I'm here to deliver the message. I'll do it in my unique way, so you can imagine it'll have some profanity in it and it'll be a little bit filthy, but that's okay because that's probably what you guys want from me anyway. So check me out, cameo.com/Chris Aiken. Again, cameo.com/Chris Aiken. Book me and I will deliver whatever message it is that you need delivered, and it's cheap, so go do it. All right, later.
Dyer's Eve, Metallica, right here on your Classic Metal Show. And apparently, Chris, former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted kind of resurfaced after a while.
I did see this story. I have real questions about this, but go ahead.
Well, I remember, boy, what was it, like 5, maybe 6 years ago? He was out there doing stuff, playing out live, and he had resurfaced there for a while, and then all of a sudden the next stories you see is, where did Jason Newsted go? He disappeared. Nobody's seen him. He's gone. He just, nobody's heard from him,
Yeah.
And then now he resurfaced with a fairly lengthy interview.
Sure.
But yeah, he sort of was been MIA for a while, and then this just kind of cropped up here.
Sure.
So apparently he lives in Florida now.
Yeah, he sold his place out in Walnut Creek.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I mean, might as well go to a free state where taxes aren't going to eat you alive.
Yeah, especially when you have that kind of money.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, he did a interview with the Palm Beach Post, which I guess is his local newspaper down there. It says,
okay,
don't let the resting scowl face fool you. Former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted is funny as hell. He's funny as hell. Now you know or met Jason a little bit years ago. You told me you had told a story that when he was still with Metallica, he was like grabbing up all the food and stuff that was in the
he
room.
did. He did. He was I knew Jason a little bit. I mean, I don't want to say that we were buds or whatever, but we did know each other pretty well. And yeah, he invited me out to one of the shows, and it was the night after the whatchamacallit, the show at the Odeon that they did, the mid-afternoon concert.
Okay.
That they did that, and then he invited us to sound check, and I've told that story about playing the drums on Metallica's stage and whatnot, so I won't get into all that. But yeah, we went and we hung out, and at the end of the show, we were in the room, and in comes Jason after grabbing a shower or whatever he was doing, and he has a backpack, and he's just loaded up with fucking sandwiches and shit. And he just was like, look, shit's here, I'm gonna eat it. I'm not gonna waste my money on food.
Right.
It's free right here.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're in Metallica.
Right. Seemingly unaware, he morphs into each person he talks about, hilariously adopting the body language, accent, and mannerisms of everyone from a buzzed Ozzy Osbourne to his brash German and genteel Japanese fans. And one cannot help but laugh when Newsted describes the shock of meeting female audience members who, thanks to distance, smoke, and unworn eyeglasses, sometimes look vastly different up close after the show. Ask that girl in the 5th row to come back after the show. Oh my God, that's actually her. Jeez.
Yeah. Send her back.
Throw her back. We call it the 40-foot syndrome, he said, doubling over with laughter. Strumming his guitar in his Jupiter studio, Newsted is upbeat, animated, candid, and no topic is off limits.
Yeah.
But as excited as he gets when discussing his life's passions like music or his charity work with children, there is a shadow that occasionally darkens Newsted's face. It is evident that when he talks about the insatiable internal drive that keeps him working long hours in a studio and away from his family. I don't allow myself to a lot of times enjoy things, he admitted after a complaintive pause. I'm still waiting for the call.
Ooh.
He's waiting for the call.
Waiting for the call. He's beckoning the call, beckoning the call.
Exactly. Let's see here. The call is what motivates him, he said. It is the reason he rehearses day and night, pushes himself to his limits, and refuses to do anything less than the best. Now, do you think he just sits there and noodles in a studio all day?
What else he got to do?
Well, again, I don't know. It just sounds kind of weird. I mean, how many hours a day can you dedicate to plunking on the bass?
Well, there is always Netflix.
I don't want to be caught not being able to perform like I can, he said. If it does happen to come, I don't want to let my guard down.
Right.
The call could be from anyone, he said. He cannot really be sure what it will entail until the phone rings, but he needs to be ready because it is a call that will put him back on top.
See, what call could he be waiting for?
Anybody who wants to play with him, I guess.
See, but that isn't true. That's not true because he had the Newsted band that was kind of an all-star band.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a pretty good thing, and it was going well, and he just didn't want to do it.
He just abandoned it.
But he's been in, I mean, he was in Voivod. That's a fairly big band. He was in Ozzy. That's a real big band.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Metallica. That's as big as it gets. I mean, what's he waiting for? The Stones?
Could be.
I mean, what could he get that's going to be as big as what he's had?
I don't know.
I can't think of what. There's nothing bigger than Metallica in metal.
Well, maybe he's waiting for Metallica to give him that call.
They're not giving him that call.
Well, I know. I'm not saying they would. I'm just saying maybe that's the call.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he kind of quit them. That's that KK Downing syndrome there. You quit them and then you want back. Nah. I'm just gonna say they're not gonna call him back. They like Robert.
Yeah, of course.
He's easy to deal with, and he doesn't give him any lip.
Yeah, and he probably doesn't get a big share like Newsted did.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, he's probably like a hired gun.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah.
It is no doubt tough to part ways from one of the most influential, enduring, and lucrative acts in the hard rock history, as Newsted did in 2001 when he left Metallica. He is the first to admit to the virtual impossibility of achieving a subsequent level of success that could rival that of Metallica, which is what you just said.
Right.
With which he earned 6 Grammy Awards and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I've already seen a whole bunch of really, really crazy stuff in this really hyper exclusive club, and I'm not sure what's going to top it, he said. But as far as the notches in the belt and the shiny part of the crown, I think that's as shiny as they're going to get. So
probably right about that.
No. At this point, Newsted's career, he said the call would have to be from someone really, really special, maybe like ZZ Top, Gary Clark Jr., or Joe Bonamassa. Offers from Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, and others have fallen flat. He said, although...
Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop. He's willing to go out with Joe Bonamassa, but not who?
Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, and others.
So Aerosmith, no, but Joe Bonamassa, yes.
He just said it fell flat, whatever that means.
Well, it means he didn't take it.
Well, either that or they didn't. They gave him a chance and they decided they wanted somebody else.
That could be. Jeez, that just sounds weird that he'd be wanting onto a Joe Bonamassa to go play clubs.
Well, maybe he kind of like respects Joe Bonamassa or something. Maybe he's got that kind of like, oh, he's revered, you know.
Could be. Yeah, that seems like a step backwards to me.
Mm-hmm. Although he was excited to guest alongside Tina Turner on an Italian pop singer, Elisa's Teach Me Again.
Okay.
Whatever. Still, when talking about who he would like to be with at the end of the line when the call comes, there's one band name Newsted conspicuously leaves out.
Okay.
His departure from Metallica left behind a wake of frustration, resentment, and disappointment that spread among the band members and fans alike. More than 20 years later, stories of a contentious split ran rampant, fueled mostly by claims that Metallica never really embraced Newsted and stonewalled his creative input from the start. Today, Newsted shrugs that off, saying the real reason he quit came down to one simple thing. The absolute is still that I would be dead if I didn't leave, he said. A permanent neck injury had left Newsted addicted to pain medication, and he said he told the band he needed a 6 to 8 months break to rest and recuperate, and for some reason they weren't willing to do that, he said. Why that is, he said, he still doesn't know, but he did say that the stress levels were high when he joined Metallica in 1986 after bassist Cliff Burton was killed in a tour bus crash in Sweden. They were under some extreme emotional demand when they lost Cliff, Newsted said. He was their teacher. He was their main guy. He was the man. It was a big, big deal. Newsted, who was only 23 at the time, said while taking on a new bass player was tough for Metallica, it was a massive life change for him too. In 2 weeks' time, I went from landscaping, raking rocks, and picking up cactus needles in Arizona in a desert in 110 degrees heat to 2 weeks later, touring Japan with Metallica, he said. This is nuts for anybody.
Yeah.
Newsted is clear that he never wanted to quit Metallica. He is equally clear that it was a decision he does not regret. It's like a crazy ass hollow void that will probably never be filled, he said. About leaving, it was really horrible, a lonely feeling. I was like, why did you screw yourself so hard? Why did you? But I think also you wouldn't be breathing right now if you hadn't done it. Leaving Metallica, however, did not immediately solve Newsted's drug problem. He quickly joined a year-long tour with Ozzy Osbourne, who was in hindsight was probably not the best person to hang around for someone trying to get off pills.
Right.
At some point, I remember 77 tablets he took in one day. That would be meds, vitamins, supplements, Xanax, Vicodin, Newsted said. Folks said he must have had Parkinson's because he was shaking. No, man, he was just vibrating. He's not sick. He's just jacked up, and that's what I stepped into.
Jesus.
Newsted managed to play 62 shows in 31 days during Ozfest, he said, joining his former band Voivod on the smaller stage during the day before headlining with Ozzy each night. And despite Ozzy's incessant partying and Sharon Osbourne's never-ending attempts to control it, it would not have been possible to have worked with a more enthusiastic or dedicated musician, Newsted said. He got his gear on 2 hours before stage time with Zeppelin jamming like, let's go, Newsted said of Ozzy rocking out pre-show in his dressing room. That was the real person, and no matter what kind of stuff they tried to subdue him with, he was still the essence of that person. So was the side of Ozzy that few ever witnessed, Newsted said. So was the side of Ozzy that few ever witnessed, Newsted said, like when Ozzy saw Newsted's Chihuahua backstage sporting a pair of big sunglasses. He lost it like a child, Newsted said, laughing and mimicking Ozzy's mannerism. He's like, oh, baby, that's the genuine person. There's still this really big-hearted, animal-loving dad in there, beside being the Prince of Darkness. He is that, too.
Okay.
It would be more than a year after that before Newsted finally kicked his drug habit in 2004. He said his heart stopped after overdosing on opiates. Following a shoulder surgery. That was kind of the day it turned around for me, he said. From then on, I just worked on getting out of it. They build that drug so it gets into your fiber and it won't let its hooks loose. He got straight, but in the process lost some of his best friends he had ever had, he said. Everything that I'd known was gone. Everybody that had taught me about life and the world, all of the crew guys, everybody was my family on the road, he said. I divorced 3 people in the band, and then 85 to 105 family members just evaporated out of my life.
Wow.
just a pariah, an outcast.
So in other words, he was surrounded by hangers-ons.
Yeah, they were beggars and hangers-on.
Yeah.
If they were your true friends, they would have stuck with you.
Yeah. They were just in it for the party and the money, probably.
That's it. The party, pussy, and paycheck, as
Right.
Stephen Kiersey would say.
That's right.
Thankfully, Newsted said securing a top-notch financial planner early in his career ensured he was financially flush after the split. And then, of course, there remains to this day the never-ending stream of revenue from merchandise sales, with Metallica gear ringing up worldwide sales second only to South Park.
Wow.
So he still gets a cut of the merch sales, I guess, huh?
Well, yeah. He gets that, and he certainly gets royalties from the Black Album.
Well, sure.
So, yeah, that alone. Royalties from the Black Album alone is more than enough to take care of him for the rest of his life. Fucking every goddamn sporting event plays Enter Sandman at least twice a game.
How many million of copies is that sold? It's like 42 million or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's some fucking ridiculous number of millions. How many sales does the Black Album have? It's some crazy number. Sold more than 28.3 million copies worldwide.
Okay.
Oof. That's a bunch.
Yep. The financial comfort allows Newsted to spend more time on his art, and with his bold, vibrant paintings now selling for as much as $60,000.
All right, I don't get all that, but I guess if you want a famous guy to do your painting, that's how that happens.
Yeah, I guess. There's no formal anything to it, he said, in his artistic style. It's all mixed elements. It could be anything at any time, and every one of them tells a story. And then there's Jason Newsted and the Chop House Band, a passion project from with members who donate 100% of their proceeds to arts and music charities for underserved youth.
Okay.
It's to put guitars and paintbrushes in kids' hands, he said. That's the whole goal. Celebrating 30 years in 2022, the Chop House Band is a far cry from the head-banging rock that defined Newsted's time with Metallica and Ozzy. His song Bible today, he said, is composed of music from his heroes such as Neil Young, Tom Waits, Bob Seger, and his go-to favorite, the Man in Black. It's Johnny Cash's with long, sharp teeth, Newsted said, making little fangs with his fingers.
Ooh, hilarious.
He is hilarious. The music, which Newsted calls right close to his bluegrass all the way to some pretty scary metal stuff and everything in between, is also a far cry from the good time rock music of Van Halen, which Newsted came within an inch of joining 6 months ago. Alex Van Halen had already tapped Joe Satriani to replace Eddie Van Halen, Newsted said, and the two were searching for a bass player for a possible Van Halen tour. But he doesn't mention who he'd want to be the vocalist. You think David Lee Roth?
No.
I didn't think so. I mean, because it doesn't mention anything
well,
about
Roth said he's done.
I know.
No, it would be Sammy. And this is why this story doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna bring Sammy back, and you're gonna bring Satriani back,
why don't you bring in Michael Anthony,
who's already in a band with those two guys?
Right.
This isn't so much Van Halen as much as it is Chickenfoot or whatever band that is. That what that band is with Satriani?
Chickenfoot or the Circle or
one of the. It's not the Circle. The Circle is Vic Johnson, because I saw the Circle.
So
it's Chickenfoot.
Yeah.
So it's just Chickenfoot with Alex Van Halen instead of Jason Bonham, which to me is a downgrade.
Yeah.
Would you call that a downgrade to go from Jason Bonham to Alex Van Halen?
Well, from talent wise or style wise, all you're swapping out one name for another name.
Yeah, I think ticket-wise, it's probably better, but talent-wise, it's definitely not better.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna love. You couldn't call it Van Halen. You got to call it a tribute to Van Halen.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you call it Van Halen, people are gonna fucking lose their goddamn minds over that.
Right, right.
Starting with Wolfie and fucking Valerie Bernelli, probably.
Sure. Well, Alex is part of Van Halen.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, I guess he could use the name if he wanted to. I mean,
I'm sure.
obviously that would be a sacrilege to do that, but
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go out and call something Van Halen when you've got two different Van Halen bass players that are out there alive and actually playing.
yeah,
I mean, that are active players still, and you're going to bring in somebody else.
yeah.
That sounds like Alex might have just made a phone call and said, "Hey, we might put Van Halen back together.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll give you a call."
or maybe. Well, he said he actually went out there and played with them.
Okay, well, that could have just been a jam.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not so sold on this.
Yeah. Newsted said he agreed to go to California to jam with the guys and see if it felt right, but in his heart of hearts, thought it would be impossible to do justice to the Van Halen legacy. How could you? He said, there's nobody that can top it. So how do you show it honor? I didn't want it to be viewed as a money grab, and then it just all kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, and it would be seen as a money grab.
Mm-hmm. Newsted keeps plenty busy with the Chop House band, he said, so much so that he does not participate on social media, which he calls a time suck.
He's right on that.
On the list of things he does not like about social media is that it's led young musicians to have a distorted view of what it takes to reach the highest echelon of success. And perhaps most importantly, he said, it has robbed them of a sense of joy and accomplishment garnered from achieving greatness one show at a time in front of a live audience. You need to get your hands dirty. You need to break some strings. You need to fall down a couple of times. You need to get a skin knee. You need to get a chipped tooth, real world, breathing the air, sweating, getting sweat in your eyes and have it burn. I want people to feel the visceral, not the facade of the thing. Really, to do it, grab it up and not be afraid to go down. I want them to feel what I felt, what I chase every day. And so he practices every day, day in, day out, chasing that feeling, waiting for the call.
All right.
Then in the moment of raw vulnerability, when asked point blank if he would go back if the call came from Metallica, Newsted responded without hesitation, absolutely, man. I was all the way committed to that. I could not have been more devoted to that band. It's not possible.
How long do you think it would take him before he'd be unhappy in that band, though?
Half a dozen gigs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't see Jason Newsted being happy with the okay, friends.
Yes.
Let's bring up the 9-year-old on stage with us. I can't see him happy with that.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what the hell? I'm trying to murder the crowd.
Right.
Although who knows? I mean, who knows? He's older too.
Sure.
He's older too. And I mean, if you've ever heard any of this Chop House music, it's not that it's bad or anything, but it certainly ain't aggressive.
Right.
It's very kind of mellow. So
that's what it's. Well, that's what he's saying. It's kind of Johnny Cash, kind of Seeger, kind of that kind of stuff.
Maybe he'd be all in for the Friendtalica that we have today.
Well, maybe. I mean, he does do the charity causes for children and all. So
okay, family, Metallica family, welcome back, brother Jason.
Exactly.
Yuck. It would sell tickets though.
Well, I would imagine.
The question though is, Metallica doesn't need that. They still sell out every show they fucking play. So they don't need the Jason push now. They'll wait till
I mean, it's not a matter of need at all for either one of them, I would not think.
No, not at all. But why waste it? If Jason is saying right now that he wants to do it, why would Metallica waste that right now? They'll wait till their fucking sales start to dip a little bit, and then they'll be like, oh, it's the return of, and get the cheap pop for the tickets. At least one tour that would be sold.
Right.
Yeah, they'll wait.
Mhm.
Well, good luck to him, man. I hope he gets that call from the Who or whatever. The Who needs a bassist, don't they?
Well, I mean, they don't. I know they have a touring guy with them.
That's what I mean. Jason
Yeah.
Newsted in
Yeah.
the Who.
Sure.
He won't get fooled again, as they say. That would be weird, wouldn't it, to see one of them bands from the earliest of rock and roll and Jason Newsted up there in a suit or something playing?
Yeah.
That would seem odd to me.
Well, again, he's got apparently, at least if you believe, that he's set financially and stuff, he has the luxury of being able to just go pick and choose and go, yeah, that'd be fun for me for a tour or something,
Yeah, I definitely think he's set financially. I mean, he's got to be worth 20-30 million dollars. Gotta be.
I would imagine. Can you look that up if that's, not that anybody can believe that. But what do they think? What does the interweb say his net worth is?
It says $500,000. I'm gonna fucking scream. 60 million.
60 million.
Yeah. So he ain't hurting.
All right. I mean, even if it's half that, like you said, 30 million.
Yeah, he ain't hurting. He ain't hurting unless he's on the verge of a divorce, and even then, he's probably not hurting.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, on another front here, Kurt Cobain, who's been dead almost 30 years already, believe it or not.
I know, crazy. Yeah.
What was that? 94, right?
94. Yeah.
Yeah. So almost 30 years ago.
Seems
like yesterday. It's weird.
Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, that was terrible.
Kurt Cobain's iconic blue guitar from Nirvana's 1991 hit single "Smells Like Teen Spirit" video is expected to raise $800,000 at an auction in May.
Wow.
Kurt Cobain's blue guitar that he played in Nirvana's 1991 "Smells Like Teen Spirit" music video is expected to raise $800,000 in an auction next month, with the footage racking up more than 1.4 billion views on YouTube. 1.4 billion views.
That's a lot.
Yes, the 1969 left-handed Fender Mustang is arguably one of the most famous instruments in rock, according to Martin Nolan, the executive director of Julian's Auctions. This is one of the most iconic guitars ever to come to the auction block. This is the blue Mustang Fender guitar, one of Kurt Cobain's favorite guitars of all time. Nolan said while standing beside the display of the late rocker's memorabilia at the showroom in Beverly Hills. The guitar comes with its original case and also the guitar strap. So that's really, really important to collectors when they come to the auction to know of the originality. He noted that the guitar had stayed with the family since Cobain's death in 1994.
Okay.
The Cobain guitar is the star lot in the Auctions House Music Icons auction taking place in New York and online from May 20th to the 22nd. Nolan said the auction house has conservatively estimated a price range of $600,000 to $800,000, but noted that that's a very conservative auction estimate.
Wow. So they're thinking realistically $1 million, $1.2 million.
Could be $1 million.
Wow.
The auction house said a portion of the proceeds will go to Kicking the Stigma, a mental health charity foundation by Jim whatever Ursay from the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, the owner of the Colts. Yeah.
The auction also features other items, including the original Kurt Cobain artwork of Michael Jackson that is expected to fetch up to $40,000, and one of his cars, a 1965 Dodge Dart, expected to fetch between $400,000 and $600,000.
$400,000 for a Dodge Dart?
Yeah, 65 Dodge Dart.
Why? Because it was Michael Jackson's?
No. This is still Kurt Cobain's.
Oh. You got to be kidding me.
He drew a picture of Kurt Cobain, did some artwork. He drew a picture of Michael Jackson.
Oh.
and his car, Kurt Cobain's car, is also up for auction.
But it's a 65 Dart?
Yeah.
What was he doing driving a 65 Dart?
Well, he had to downplay that image, like he's like a poor musician driving a shitty car. And
that's certainly doing the job. A 65 Dart, that's horrendous.
Yep. In May of 2021, 6 strands of Cobain's long blonde hair sold for a whopping $14,145 in an auction.
For his hair?
Yeah, 6 strands.
Wow.
6 strands of Cobain's long blonde hair.
People will buy anything, won't they?
Yeah, they will. Jeez. According to the auction house, his longest strand is only about 2.5 inches, which is pretty wild considering each strand sold for $2,357.50 a piece.
Wow.
Here's some Kurt Cobain hair. We dug it out of the bathtub drain.
You think if I cut a little of my hair off, I could get even like $50 maybe?
Maybe $50.
I'd be willing to sell, I don't know, this much.
Yeah, here's a strand of hair.
Well, if I gave him this much right here, that's like worth 2,000 in Cobainism. So that's got to be worth 50, 60, doesn't it? Jesus.
The hairs are preserved and kept together inside of a plastic, which is about the size of a coaster.
Well, if anybody wants to buy a little lock of my hair, I will take a Ziploc bag and an iron and I'll stamp it down so that it's preserved.
Right. According to the listing, the strands came at a very interesting time as they were cut just 4 months after the release of Nirvana's first album, Bleach, and years before they came to the biggest rock band in the world. Now, who held on to this?
Probably some barber.
Well, I mean, but this was before they became famous. So why would somebody keep the hair and put it in a baggie and go, this is going to be worth something someday?
Yeah, and how do you prove any of this?
Yeah, I know.
How do you prove that this isn't just some fucking guy's hair? Is there like a DNA report or something?
I don't know. But that's really weird. That why would somebody cut your hair and then like keep it?
Yeah, that is a little creepy.
And 6 strands. Why 6 strands?
Well, maybe they're keeping the rest for their own fucking retirement.
I guess that's bizarre, man. Yeah, according to the listing, the strands came at a very interesting time as they were cut just 4 months after the release of Nirvana's first album, Bleach, and years before they became the biggest rock band in the world. The locks came from his friend and early confidant, Tessa Osborne, who cut his hair in Birmingham, England, back on October 29th of 1989. Before that, Cobain's acoustic guitar from Nirvana's iconic 1993 MTV Unplugged in New York performance sold for a record-breaking,
drum roll.
Got a number?
500,000.
Record
low.
Way
2 million.
Way low.
Way low on 2 million?
Way low.
10 million.
Not quite.
You got to be 8 million?
6 million.
Fuck that. Fuck that. That's fucking stupid.
$6 million.
This guy was not even a good guitar player. I like Nirvana. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Nirvana fan. Mm-hmm. But this guy was not a good guitar player. It's literally worth that just because he fucking bulleted himself.
I guess.
That's the only reason. Because if we're going by this logic, how much is a dime bag guitar worth?
Yeah, really.
200 million? Get the fuck out of here with this. Jesus.
Yeah. The 1959 Martin D18E, which was often out of tune, was expected to fetch between 1 million and 2 million during the online music icon sale hosted by Julian's Auctions, but it ended up breaking the record for the most expensive guitar.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. The lot came with the guitar case the Smells Like Teen Spirit group's late frontman used, which was a poster of Poison Ideas album Feel and Darkness on it, which whilst whilst inside is a bunch of guitar strings, picks, and a stash bag.
Okay.
Kurt married Courtney Love of Hole fame in 1992. Together, they had a daughter, Frances Bean, who is now 27 years old.
Good for her.
So there you are.
Well, how about that? Jesus, that's just sad. That is just sad that somebody is going to put fucking that kind of money in Courtney Love's pocket.
Yeah. $6 million to that guitar.
That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the guitar that he used on the MTV Unplugged is $6 million, but they're only expecting the iconic Smells Like Teen Spirit to fetch 800,000.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that has been seen a whole lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. That whole story sucks. How much is an Eddie Van Halen used guitar worth at this point?
Well, I imagine if it was the original Frankenstein,
yeah,
that would probably go for 10 to 20 million, would you think?
Well, I don't know. After that one went for 6 million, I'm thinking Elon Musk could be making decisions between Twitter and Eddie's guitar at this point.
Exactly.
It's fucking Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, well, if it's like I said, if it's actually the original Frankenstein.
Oh my God, that's got to be worth $1 billion with a B.
Yeah,
that's got. I mean, serious number. That's got to. If Kurt Cobain's guitar is worth 6, Eddie Van Halen's original has to be worth at least 20.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
That's what I said. 10 to 20 million.
Man, oh man, that Wolfie. Why is he even trying to make music? Just sell dad's junk.
Right. Well, I doubt Wolfie's out there touring and playing music because he needs money.
Well, that's true too, but man,
I'm sure he does it just because it's like, well, I'm a kid. I got the Van Halen legacy. Hey, what am I going to do? I don't have to work. Yeah,
true. So he just goes out there and does it. I mean, he makes good music, but man, I think I'd have EVH 5150 would be my eBay name, and I'd be selling all of dad's junk out of the closet. Here's a concert worn sock,
right.
$6,000.
Sure.
Jeez, oh man.
I don't know. There you are.
That is some crazy numbers that people, what? I just don't understand. Maybe it's just, again, it's us being jaded, but I don't understand memorabilia.
Well, I like memorabilia. I do, obviously. I mean, you've seen some of my stuff. I do like memorabilia, but I'm not willing to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying is to risk, a lifetime of money to own a Cobain guitar or I don't know, a Dio microphone or.
Well, it's like the guys who collect sports memorabilia. This was Babe Ruth's bat.
Yeah.
Or this was, I don't know, who was the big hockey hero up in Canada? Gretzky.
Well, Gretzky one.
Here's Gretzky's hockey stick.
Yeah.
Something like that. This is the original. This is the one that he won the Stanley Cup, the final shot in the Stanley Cup in 1986 or some shit like that.
Yeah. I just can't see it. I mean, and maybe it's just in our world. And I mean, what would you pay for, I don't know, a fucking Alex Skolnick guitar pick? I wouldn't pay $1.
I wouldn't either.
And I like Testament. I love Testament.
Sure.
But I wouldn't pay $1 for that.
Yeah. And I'm looking around here on the walls and stuff. All the memorabilia that I have here is personal to me because I got it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never went out and purchased memorabilia from somebody,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I have either. I'm looking around my room here.
The only thing that you purchased was a Zeppelin ticket.
Yeah, and even that wasn't that expensive.
Well, it's not that it was expensive, but it is memorabilia that you purchased.
Yeah, it's the only thing I've ever spent money on. And it's like, yeah. Now, if I could sell it, I would.
You probably could. I don't know what it's worth.
Yeah, I probably could.
Can you look that up? See if there's any value on that?
I can try to. Let's see. I think I looked once. It wasn't worth shit because there was like 40,000 of them.
Well, of course. I mean, it was a stadium arena, worth of tickets available out there.
Canceled.
But once they're already all bought up and stuff, and people, are hanging on to them, then the value goes up a little bit.
Yeah. $1,000.
And what did you pay?
100.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's gone up 10 times.
Yeah. $1,000. Guess if I ever need rent money. If I ever need rent money, the motherfucker's going right to eBay.
I needs to eat.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. All the shit that I do have that I know is like not replaceable stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dime bag autographs and stuff like that.
Sure.
The only thing that goes through my mind is, man, if I ever need money, this shit is gone.
Well, that's I know people that they collected stuff. Let's just say like pocket watches or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, they had to part with it because they needed the money.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I've been collecting these pocket watches for 30 years or whatever, and I'm kind of on having down, hard times, so I gotta part with it.
Sure. I know. I thought when I was at my brokest, when I was just about to lose my house, like early on in the Econ IT days,
mm-hmm.
I thought long and hard about selling the Babe Ruth baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could get like a year's worth of money at that point, maybe 2 years worth of money at that point, the way I was living. But I really thought about selling that ball, and I didn't. But I think now, especially now that like my grandfather's dead and whatever, and I don't really believe that he's looking down on me to see if I'm taking care of it. I don't buy into that bullshit.
Right.
I think I could sell it without any emotional baggage to it.
But I bet you would really shop it around to make sure you get the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, I wouldn't just throw it on eBay and take somebody did a fucking first buy or whatever on the eBay. No, I would definitely do it through an auction house or whatever and make sure I get my $50,000-$60,000 out of it. But but I wouldn't have. For me now, I'd be just as good at just taking a picture of it, like me holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, I had it at one time. Good enough.
Yeah,
that's good enough. I don't need it sitting in a closet somewhere or in a safe deposit box in a fucking bank. How is that special to me? It's not. You know how it's special to me? Because once a year I got to pay another fucking $100 to keep it in the box.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, different things mean different things to different people,
Yeah.
I mean, like I shared, the photos with you this week because this past what is today? Today's the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Thursday was 33 years ago that Robbie Knievel jumped the fountains at Caesar's Palace, and of course I was there and got the shirt and the autographs and Medieval and Robbie and stuff. So to me,
sure,
that's a special collector for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not worth anything to anybody else.
Yeah, well, because you were there.
I was there, and the thing is it the autographs have my name on them.
Mm-hmm.
They were autographed to me, but I got the Robbie Knievel shirt that they were selling, and I've got the proclamation that Caesar's Palace released and all that other stuff. I got all that stuff framed and everything. So
sure,
that's collectible stuff that I would hold on to, but it's not like I could turn around and sell that on eBay or something.
Sure.
Because it's just like that's not worth anything to anyone.
Right. I know a year or two ago, I had a bug up my ass to get the original poster for Day on the Green. Maybe it's a little longer than that now, but whatever it was, it's in the last couple of years that I wanted this poster. And I went and I looked around, and there was a couple of them on eBay, and they were expensive. They were like $300-$400 for this poster, because it's a even the Metallica guys look at it as like a landmark show for them. So it's like this landmark thing. And then I found a guy selling them for $10 for knockoffs, and I was just fine as could be just to get the knockoff. I was like, fuck.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it sits up on my wall right there by the front door.
Okay.
There's a poster in a frame of the Day on the Green. It's the same exact poster.
Yeah, it's just a reprint. That's all.
Except it wasn't hanging up at Oakland Stadium. It was just something that some guy fucking ran off a printer or something. Fine, me. I don't care. It still looks the same.
Yeah, but it's for you personally, being that you attended that show, it brings back memories. That's that it doesn't matter if it's the real thing or not. It's just the thing that it just kind of commemorates a thing that you did and was memorable to you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's certainly, I would have been disappointed in myself if I'd have spent $200 or $300 on something that I could have got the exact same the same feeling out of for $10. Right. It's like, fuck. Am I going to feel more special about it that some other guy tore it off the wall at fucking Oakland Stadium 30 years ago? Not really. Right. I got one. It looks the same. People still say, "Oh, what's that about?" "Oh, I was there." I can still tell the story, so I don't give a shit. Yeah, it was one of my favorite shows to ever attend, or one of the most memorable shows I ever attended. Yeah, that's it. And I mean, most of the posters and stuff that I have up in my house, like I have a Metallica poster, another Metallica show. That's another knockoff, but it was a show I was at. It was the horrible Metallica show I went to at Blossom with Days of the New and Jerry Cantrell. Right. But there was somebody selling knockoffs of it for $10. So I bought one of those, put it in a frame. It's up on my wall. I just put that kind of shit that I actually went to. I have a poster of the Roger Waters, The Wall show that I went to. Okay. Again, not the original, just a knockoff. I'm fine with knockoffs. It's all good to me. Right. Because to me, it's all about when somebody comes to the house, I can tell the story. Sure. The stuff that all of my memorabilia stuff that I have on the walls are, like, I have the Sepultura Quattro record on the wall, because they sent it to me for thanking me for doing the interview with them last year or whatever. They sent me an actual signed CD to me. And us getting credited in Piercy's last album. I put that in a frame and I put it up, just because he's fucking Stephen Piercy and he's thanking me like I mean something. Yeah, right. Exactly. So and we got thanked in a couple Dokken records. Yeah. And I have what was it? Broken Bones? I think we're in Broken Bones, and we're in Lightning Strikes as well. Again. Yeah. I think I have Broken Bones up on the wall too, where we were thanked on that one too. So, if it's got a personal meaning like that, I will kind of tributize it, I guess. But I mean, it's personal to you. Yeah. Which is the point I was making, because I'm looking around at the stuff hanging here in the studio, and everything in here is personal to me. Well, it's like I have in a frame, I have a screenshot. This is so lame, but it's still cool to me. I have a screenshot of my credit in Maynard from Tool's book. He credited a review that I wrote. Yeah, I remember that. Well, I put that in a frame, but I still don't own the book, because I really don't care. I don't want to read a book about Maynard James Keener, nor do I want to spend $35 just because it has my name in it. Sure. It's not that important to me, but somebody sent me the screenshot, somebody that did buy it, and I put that in a frame. So, well, there it is. I got quoted in the guy from Tool's book. That's cool. Not cool enough to spend money on, but it's cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, we're also in the one of the Benedictum releases. Sure. We're credited in one of those discs. Yeah, dude. How many different iterations of the Metal Generation book did we get credits in? Yeah, we did that. Mr. Kleck. Yeah, he put it out 5 different ways and thanked us in every single one of them. and we're mentioned in there.
Yeah, yeah, wrote about us.
Where,
And I don't even have that on the wall, but it is up there on the shelf. I do
yeah,
have it.
I have mine over here on a table right here.
Yeah, it's cool in that, but I don't keep. I don't know about you, but I don't keep everything that we're mentioned in.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, I've obviously been a writer and whatnot, so I had a million articles. I didn't keep. I tried to keep all that shit for like 1 year, and then after that, I was like, man, who cares? My name, big deal. Somebody printed my name. Gives a shit.
Yeah, it's a nice little tribute.
Yeah, I don't even, dude. You probably have more Music's Bottom Lines than I do.
Yeah, I thought you had gotten all those music bottom lines.
I have a bunch. I have probably 50.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there was more than 50 that I did, because I did it for, I think, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, that's 12 times 7, right?
Well, 12 times 5 and 24 times 2, because the last 2 years I was doing it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So whatever that'd be, it's roughly 100, I guess, 100 or so episodes. So
Mm-hmm.
I have about half. And that's something I spent money to make.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them in a box in the garage, I think.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you probably have more than I do.
Yeah.
I kept the ones that sort of meant something to me, I guess. Those are the ones I actually care about. Like, I have the first one on the wall over there, right next to the poster who made that poster? For the first CMS night out, that was Music's Bottom Line, and
I think Andy made that for me.
Okay, because I have that poster on the wall,
and I got that all signed and autographed for you too.
Yeah, it's all signed. It's on the wall
because mine is hanging up on the wall over here too.
Sure, that was part of the Liquor and Sticker tour or whatever, wasn't it? Liquor and Poker tour.
No, that didn't have anything to do with that at all.
I know Ashes to Ashes played it. I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, we got Music's Bottom Line logo in the poster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I have that. I know I have the interview that I did with Chris. I have that one because that's probably the most famous interview that I've ever done, because MTV grabbed the audio and ran it,
mm-hmm.
On MTV, and Rolling Stone ran it. And so I have that. I do have the copy of, I was in Rolling Stone twice, and I have both of those. I have the Chris one, and I have the Tupac one, so I've kept a couple of those things that are cool,
mm-hmm.
but every stupid thing that I'm in, no, I just, if I kept every CD that I was ever thanked in, I'd have 50 times more CDs than I do now.
Yeah.
Because every local band in Cleveland for 10 years was thanking me, even if they didn't know me, so that I would say, "Oh, cool, let me play this on the radio."
Yeah. I have a Spin magazine.
Okay.
With where there's a mention in there. I think they were doing I'm trying to remember what it was. Was it 35th? I'm trying to remember if it was like the 35th anniversary of the band Chicago being together.
Okay.
And there was a congratulations from me to the band for 35 years or some shit.
Right.
So I have that put away somewhere.
Cool. Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to get that stuff, but do you keep everything? Like, you probably keep everything.
I do. I don't have everything displayed. I got a lot of stuff, and I'll tell you what I have a lot of. And I got a lot of autographed ones. Is I have a lot of, remember years ago when going to concerts was cool and they actually sold a tour program?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got a ton of those.
Really?
Yeah. Just really nice. They were really nice. They were heavy duty stock, and they had good glossy pictures in it. And,
sure.
I've got a lot of tour programs.
Wow. See, I could never
probably have a stack of tour programs like that.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
I could never buy those because I was always in the mosh pit. So I was like, they're just going to get destroyed. And I never went with obviously I never went with my ex, because she hated that fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I couldn't go with her where I could say, here, hold this while I go fucking kill people in the mosh pit. So I always went with other buddies that went. So I had nobody to hold the shit. So I never bought it.
Yeah.
I got
a ton of concert t-shirts. and I got a
Right.
ton of those tour programs, and I probably, and I'm pretty sure I probably have every ticket stub I ever had.
Oh wow. I have this Zeppelin ticket.
I literally have hundreds of ticket stubs.
Dude, I don't even have my backstage passes for most of the shit.
I do. I got them hanging right here on the wall.
I have a few on the wall over there. I probably over there on the other side there. Let me see. 1, 2. There's like 9. There's 9 of them that are like stuck up on the walls, and none of them have any. There's only one that has any real meaning. I'm looking at them all right now. The only one that has any real meaning to me, well, 2. The Bad Company one that was the backstage pass for that wedding.
Oh,
where they were the wedding band.
The DTE Energy Center in Detroit.
Yeah, where they were the wedding band. That one, and the Hall & Oates one, where I was hanging with with John Oates getting hammered on an $800 bottle of wine.
Nice.
That was a fun night. Fucking
I'm sure.
Hall & Oates.
I mean, that they're a legendary band, I guess, at this point.
Oh, dude. There was nothing cooler than the fucking saxophone player saying, "Here, hand me that tambourine." And I was sitting right next to where his gear all was.
Sure.
And he just kept saying, "Here, hand me that." I was handing him a saxophone or a tambourine or, whatever, a clarinet or whatever he was fucking playing. It was cool as shit.
That reminds me a few weeks ago when I was out at the Dawkins show and Sal went with me. Don gets a lot of his stage clothes and stuff made at a special leather shop in LA called La Riga.
Okay.
And I mean, it's expensive.
Sure.
It costs a lot of money to custom make these leather clothes and things that they make. And they make the stage gear or stage clothes for Steven Tyler and Rob Halford. And, they got a bunch of clients that they do their stuff with. Well, Don had a jacket made for John.
Okay.
As a gift.
Sure.
It's a very unique jacket, very cool stage jacket, leather, it's got some studs on it, some designs in it and stuff. It was pretty expensive jacket.
Okay.
Anyway, we made Sal in charge of watching John's jacket when he took it off after about the 3rd song.
Nice.
Me and Taylor were just ribbing Sal. We're just like, don't you take your eyes off that jacket, because it's like, nah, about the 3rd song, I'm going to take my jacket off. If I give it to you, make sure it doesn't get anywhere.
Right.
Because somebody had swiped that in a second,
Sure.
But so Sal's standing on the side of the stage holding this thing like it was going to get away from him, We're fucking with him. Keep your eyes on that jacket, Sal. Don't you take your eyes off of that for a minute.
Hey, where's that coat? Aren't you watching it? Dude, that reminds me when I think it was Don. I don't remember if it was me, you, or Don, but one of us told John and Scotty at that Van Halen show that they could act as Dawkins stage management.
Yeah.
And they went up and were shooing bands off the stage. So
they were going, we got to clear the area.
Like they were in charge and people listened to them.
And they did.
And they weren't in charge of shit. We literally set them up. Here, go do this.
Yeah, that was funny.
They did. Okay, your time is up. Get off the stage.
That was a good one.
Yep, hilarious.
All right, man. Well, I say we take a break, and then we'll get into our 3rd segment, which will be released for the membership only people.
That's right, the locals community.
You can see it and hear it live now, but if you catch the show later,
you're fucked.
You're not gonna get it, and supposedly it's gonna be a goodie.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Holy shit.
All right, I'll let you pick a tune. What would you like to hear?
How's about Young Man from Thunder?
Thunder, Young Man, huh?
Yeah, it's from their latest release. All the Right Moves.
Yeah, That's the band that
keeps retiring.
Retiring and just going away.
Yeah, they keep saying, "This is it. This is it."
Yep.
Oh, we're back.
Now we're done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Thunder is a band that Chris and I both like, and they've been around a long time, and I'm surprised that they've turned around and released another record. Didn't they just release a record a year ago?
I think so. Yeah, but they're back.
I know. Get another new song or new record. So they're a working machine.
Yeah, pretty good for a retired band.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, this is it. We're not performing anymore. All right. Well, here it is. It's Thunder with Young Man exclusively here
on your Classic.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neeley and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!
Budget Pet Care is the leading online supplier of pet healthcare products that provide branded healthcare products throughout the United States. They provide quality brand name pet supplies for flea and tick treatments, dewormers, nutritional supplements, eye, ear, and joint care treatments for all cats and dogs, including Frontline Plus, Advantage, K9 Advantix, Capstar, and more. Go to https://bit.ly/CMSPN BPC and use the promo code GREEN20 to save 20% on your next order. Shop Budget Pet Care today.